Hello, fellow traders. Nutty Bar Trading coming to you. And man, it has been a while. Seems like forever since I've talked to you guys. And it seems like forever since I've streamed, even though it's only been a little bit over a week. And I do miss it. I really do miss the community. I really do miss you guys. And it's kind of a give and take because even though I really do miss that interaction and I just miss the community portion of it. Also at the same time, it's also been really good for me, and it really has allowed me to really drill down and focus on my trading, trying to clearly define what does my perfect entry, what does it look like for a good setup for me? Like that's what I'm really trying to pinpoint right now and kind of lock that in. I've definitely made a lot of progress. I'll share a little bit of that here on this video, but also in this video, just kind of do a little bit of an update on the streaming, where we're going from there, and also just an update on my funded accounts. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for the support, and I really do appreciate everyone. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about just dive in my funded accounts. You can see, I actually didn't even check my previous video. I know I made some money back on my funded accounts from where we were at. I know I made some progress. I think I traded like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and we had profit in all 3 days. So those accounts are a little healthier than they were the last time. So I'm thankful for that. But I haven't really been focusing that much on my funded accounts, obviously. But I did take a couple trades, just had some really good setups that I took some micros on that worked out. So, and you can also see I did buy some new evals. So, I mean, why not? It's kind of hard to pass up with this 90% sale. So yeah, I bought some more evals. I'm probably going to trade them here in the next week. I'm not even sure yet, but when there's a 90% sale, and I know I have kind of said that I'm not going to buy more evals, but when there's a 90% sale, it's kind of hard for me not to take advantage of that. And if I need them, then I have them. So it is what it is, but also, obviously, Apex running a 90% sale right now. It is good until October 5th. And you can use code Nutty80 to get the 90% off. And also, just want to say thank you to everyone that has used my code. Really do appreciate it. It really does support the channel. And just thank you. It's been way more than what I ever thought it was going to be. And I really do appreciate it. And one of the things that I'm going to do when I get back to my first stream, the first stream back, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm not 100% sure yet how much, but basically just an appreciation for you guys for supporting me. And right now I'm thinking it's probably going to be like $500 giveaway. I'm thinking $50 giveaway to 10 people. I don't know the details, how we're going to do it, but we'll figure it out when we get there. But I really do want to do that. Just a big appreciation and thank you to everyone for supporting me. So, all right. Anyway, that's it on the accounts. Let's talk about the stream and the schedule. So I actually was planning to stream again this coming Monday. But unfortunately, I'm not going to. So, a little bit of an update. My awesome wife surprised me with a getaway this next week. It is my 40th birthday this year. And for many years, I have always talked about how I would really love to go and basically do a trip to Maine and New Hampshire. And when there's the peak fall colors, It has always been a dream of mine. As some of you know, I love photography. I love my drone and just that type of nature photography. And it's always been a dream of mine to go to Maine and New Hampshire and just do a family trip like that. So my wife surprised me for my 40th birthday. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that next week. I think we're gonna leave Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll be back. I think that next weekend. So it would be a week from today. So with that in mind, I decided this doesn't make sense to stream for a couple days. I'm gonna take the next week off as well. It'll allow me to just back test and live test this strategy Monday, Tuesday, and then we leave on Wednesday. So right now, the plan is to come back and to be streaming that following Monday, which would be October 11th. So right now, the plan is October 11th, the live streams will be back. How we're going to stream or how we're going to trade, not 100% sure. That is to be determined, but we'll figure that out and we'll update as that comes out. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for next week going on that trip. I'll make sure to share some photos. And as of now, the weather looks like it's going to be beautiful. So I'm very excited for that trip. And I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. Okay, so moving on to my strategy. Now, actually, before we go further, I'll probably get a ton of questions here, so I'm just going to address this. What are these lines and da-da-da-da-da? All that is, this is highlighting the high impact news events. And so one thing I found, so with backtesting, I do all my backtesting manually. And with that, I would always have to make sure that I'm not backtesting at an area where there was a high impact news event. Because obviously I don't want to be trading during those news events. So I don't want to include that in my backtesting results. So yeah, I was having a difficult time doing that. And I finally discovered this indicator. You do have to pay for it. If someone wants to know what it is, I'll share it. But that's basically what it is. It just shows the high impact news, and it really just helps me with when I'm back testing manually, and also going, just forward when I'm live. It really helps to know, we have a news event coming, in 10 minutes or XYZ. That really is helpful. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about where I'm at with my news. And this isn't really a new strategy. This is just defining my strategy and making it a little more clear for me. So as you probably see, this is ES. So that's right. We have moved back to trading ES. And so far I like it. Basically, I had some people give me advice, talk to a couple different people just in regards to my strategy. And I also wanted to shout out, there was a lot of people that have reached out to me with, hey, try this strategy. This strategy really worked for me. I do appreciate it. It just, obviously I need to find something that works for me, that makes sense for me. And it really just came back to kind of the roots of where I learned, and kind of taking what I learned in the beginning and just kind of going back to that. And I learned a lot of it. My price action, I learned a lot from Al Brooks. Now, I hesitate to say that because then everyone just compares and directly compares everything to him. I learned a lot from him, but I don't trade exactly like him, if that makes sense. But it did really come back to that. And I was back testing NQ, and it was just so difficult. Like, there was so many times where NQ, the volatility of it is just really difficult. And there's just a lot of wicks, and well, you all know and understand how NQ acts. Sometimes if NQ, if you're on the right side of NQ, it can be beautiful, but it can be ugly as well. And that's where I went back to ES, did a lot of back testing on ES again, and then I really liked what I was seeing on the back testing results. And then I went and I did a lot of the last 4 days, been doing the forward testing on it, and I really liked it as well. Now, does that mean I have everything figured out? Definitely not. I do not want you guys to have this takeaway be that I am all of a sudden have everything figured out. That is not the case. I still have a ton to learn, and this is still a work in progress. Even when we come back streaming this Monday in a week, we're still going to make mistakes. We're still going to have our struggles, but I want it to look more structured on my trading, and it should look, my entries and my trading, when I take entries, it should be a lot easier and clearer to see why I took that entry. Does that mean it's always going to work out? Definitely not. We obviously all know that, but just a little more of a clear understanding of my strategy and what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm excited about. And it has been really exciting just forward testing this live. And there's definitely kind of a comfort to it where I just feel more confident with when I see an entry happening, when I see a setup happening, I'm not hesitating. That's one thing I've really noticed is when I see it happen, because I've defined what I'm looking for, because I know what I'm looking for, it's easier to pull the trigger and let the results be what they are. Still have losses, unfortunately, as any strategy will have, but it's more just knowing and understanding and having confidence in that strategy that over the long term that I have an edge in the market. So, and I think that is probably the most important thing that I've discovered is whatever your strategy is, is it ICT or is it Albrooks or is it, I don't even know whatever it is. I think the most important thing is that we're confident in that strategy, because once we start to waver and not trust it anymore, I think that's when that doubt will kick in and you start making mistakes and you start hesitating, and just that kind of cycle is just ugly. And I feel like that's definitely where I was at. And hopefully the goal is to turn that around. All right, I am going to show now. I want to just be careful here because a couple of reasons. I'm going to show this. I'm going to show the chart. Now, one thing that bugs me and has always bugged me is, I don't want to say hindsight trading, but I've found that it's very, very easy to take a chart, take a snapshot of that chart, and draw it up and be like, yep, right here's your entry, exits, yada, 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 boom, bam, you make $1 million. Like, that is so easy to do, and I see so much of that, but obviously I want to keep that in perspective, because seeing it happen live is just so much harder. And that's one thing that even backtesting has shown, that in backtesting, I really try to not know what's coming next. So I'm just looking at it bar by bar by bar and making my decisions just based off of what I know. But I will be upfront here. It's always harder to do it live, and it's a lot easier to just mark up a chart and show, hey, this is how you do it. This is, how you make millions of dollars. So I hope that's not what this comes across as. And I do want to show a couple examples of where, or at least I have one example where I want to show what it looks like when the setup fails, because I think that is just as important when back testing, is to look at when it fails, because that way when it fails in a live environment, you're not surprised or you're not freaking out about it. It's just part of the process. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I just wanted to kind of show the general idea around it. And this is nothing complicated. This is nothing new. This is nothing, earth shattering and groundbreaking here. And again, I am a pretty simple person. So my strategy needs to be pretty simple. Once it gets complicated, it kind of does one of these, whoosh, it goes over my head. So I want to keep it simple. So basically what I'm looking for is a double bottom, or something where we test the prior lows or highs. And we don't have to have another failed attempt here, but that is something that gives a better, it's not an actual requirement here, but basically we have a bullish, in this case, we're looking for a long. So one thing, we're always trading with the trend. And that is something, if you've been part of my streams in the last couple of weeks, I had a couple episodes where I was fighting the trend, and it was ugly. So we're always here looking to trade with the trend, which the 21 EMA, the color code, that's basically what we're going off of. But basically, yeah, we wait till we retest the 21 EMA. So after the first retest, the candle wick can go beyond the 21 EMA, but if the bar closes below the 21 EMA, we do not have a setup. In this case, we wick down below it, but the body of the candle did not close below the 21 EMA. So our entry is a one tick above the bar that tested the EMA right here. I'll zoom in a little bit. And then, entry right here. And our first profit target is 6 ticks, basically trying to scalp 6 ticks on ES. Again, this is on ES, which would be like this. And then our runner, we just have our stop follow the low of the prior candle. It's very simple. So here, this stop would have been moved up to here. Then the stop would have been moved to here, then to here, then to here, and then to here, and then to here, and then we would have been stopped out right here for a total of 50 ticks. Now, this obviously was a great trade setup, and I actually did take this trade on my take profit evaluation account. Also, update on the evaluation account with take profit. I am slowly, I'll be honest, I did blow that account one time, but we're back and started fresh again last Thursday, I believe. And I believe right now we're at $4,200 in profit. So it's a slow progress, but that's basically the account that I'm using when I'm testing this live. But yeah, then basically I get stopped out right here. But that is in general what I'm looking for. Obviously, this is a perfect setup. Now I'm just going to go to the next setup here. Again, we had a double top here. This would be a short setup, double top here. And again, below the 21 EMA right here was our first test of the 21 EMA. So again, the body did not close above the 21 EMA. So the entry would triggered one tick below this bar, which would be right here. And our stop is 2 ticks above the prior candle. Actually, I think I forgot to mention that here. You can see here, the stop is 2 ticks below the previous candle low. So our stop would be right here. We actually got really close to being stopped out here. I did take this trade as well. And on this 21 EMA test. We entered right here. Again, took our take profit at 6 ticks right here. And we got stopped out on our runner right here at 10 ticks. So not a huge winner on this one. I did take this trade, and then we actually had another setup happen right here, and I didn't take that setup, and it would have been a nice, little bit bigger winner. Moving on. This is another one. This is one where it didn't work out, and I actually took this trade as well and took the loss. But again, this was where, again, this is not like a mechanical type entry. I do use discretion on my entries. And I like that. Like, I think mechanical entries can be good, but for me, I need a clear path and a clear strategy for it, for my trading, but I'm not a robot, and I'm not going to pretend to be a robot and act like a robot. I still, if there's some things I don't like, I'm going to not take the trade, and we're going to be okay with that. So now this here was a double bottom, kind of. And again, this is where, it wasn't exactly a double bottom, but I did, we pushed up past the 21 EMA, came back and tested it. Again, the body of the candle closed above the EMA. So our entry was right here. And we kind of did this chop fest, came down. It stopped me out by a couple ticks, story of my life. And then it ripped higher, but it is what it is. But that's, obviously, I think, or I have taken a lot of screenshots and basically do this kind of markup on my screenshots, on my trades. And this is kind of what I use in order to journal, in a sense. But it really helps seeing when it fails, because it's okay. We're going to have losers. And that's part of my struggle, has been to being a bad loser. And that is something I'm really trying to work hard on. So let's see. Moving on to, can we move to the next photo? All right. So here, again, I'll just show this last one again. Had a double top here. Made a push down below the 21 EMA. And I had a candle again. Tested the 21 EMA here. The body of the candle closed below it. So our entry was right below that entry. Right here, our stop 2 ticks above this. So right here, we had a pretty big stop loss. And that's one thing where discretion, I will use discretion, especially when it's really volatile. When we have a really big stop loss, sometimes I'll pass up on that trade based off of that. This was kind of borderline on my stop loss, a little bit bigger of a stop loss than I like to have. But I did end up taking this trade and entered right here. And my first profit target was hit here. And then the runner was stopped out right here. So nothing great, but a win's a win. So that, yeah, just, I guess I wanted to show a little bit about where I'm at and what I'm looking at. Now there are some, I do want to say there's some other things that I am looking at, but I also want to be careful, because I think looking at too many different strategies and too much can be a bad thing, and it can just be confusing for me. So I'm really trying not to do that. But there has been some other people that have reached out, and I have looked at it, and there's definitely some viability to it. And I don't want to say I've given up yet, but that is, like, this right now is where I feel most comfortable with and what I really appreciate and like. So that's, I guess, where we're at. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And but anyway, I'm excited, and really looking forward to coming back, streaming live October 11th. And that was right now the plan, when we will be back to streaming live. And again, I'm not sure what that will look like. Are we going to what are we going to do? Are we going to trade my funded accounts? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to do. So I guess we shall wait and see. But a lot of it will depend on how my forward testing will go and just how comfortable I am with it. Right now, the biggest thing for me is in a live environment, being able to identify my setups really easily. And that's probably the hardest part where, okay, yes, this, and this is happening. And I want to get to a place where it's just boom, it's right there. And it's easy for me to identify and kind of like a second nature. So obviously some of that I'm totally okay with, going live and being that part of my process when I'm streaming live. So anyway, that's it. It's late. As you can see, it's almost 1:00 in the morning on a Friday morning. We have things planned tomorrow, so that's why I'm doing this video way late, and I'll be uploading it, and it'll probably be live Saturday morning. So again, thank you, everyone. Really do appreciate the community, and hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope everyone is trading well, and I miss you guys. Take care, and God bless.